and we can really talk about this industry, talk about DJing, and really talk about how do we help everyone on this call with their goals in their DJ career. So I appreciate everyone joining us today for the monthly DJ networking call by the club. My name is Daryl Frater, founder and CEO of the Club app, and I really appreciate every one of you guys' support and rocking with us from day one with the Club app and everything we got going on. So what we're gonna do, first and foremost, want to thank DJ Super Jam for holding down the music for us today. Thank you. He's all the way in Germany, so it's really late for him being up, but he really came through with the music. So I appreciate you, brother. Wonderful job. And like we do every month, we want to start off with introductions. So we want to be able to go around the room, introduce yourself very briefly, say who you are, where you're from, a little bit about yourself, and then what I want you to also include is what do you want to get out of these networking calls? Because we want to make sure that these calls are as beneficial to each and every one of you in your goals as a DJ as much as possible. So let us know what ways that you can get value out of these calls, and I'll try my best to coordinate them to make sure everyone's getting value. So I'll kick it off, and then I'll go around the room and ask people to introduce yourself. So I'm Daryl. I live in New Jersey. I am not a DJ myself. I really admire the work DJs do, but I'm the founder of the Club app, and we're a live streaming app for the DJ community where we're really helping DJs live stream, make money, and build their brand. And what I want to get out of these calls is really get to know every DJ that joins these calls and everyone's in the community, and be able to figure out what ways that I can help solve the pain points and the needs of the DJs in this group. So anything that's going on, any troublesome, any worries, any issues that's going on within your DJ career, I want to know so I can figure out solutions on how I can help more people and DJs in your situation. So I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to just go around who I see in order. Then just introduce yourself, say who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls. So let's start with Demecca. What's going on, my brother? Could you introduce yourself?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How you doing? My name is D Mecca. I am in Harlem, New York City, and I've been DJing 30 plus years. Well, however old hip hop is, I'm probably 2 years behind that. That's basically it. I call myself a vet, but I try not to act like a vet. I have a morning show on Twitch and on my internet radio station called Good Morning Soul, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I appreciate my namesake here for having this platform for us to get together and communicate. I've learned a lot from listening and watching other DJs, trying to better myself, my show, and that's basically what it's about. Like, even though I've been doing this 30 plus years, I'm still a student of the game, and I try to teach the younger generation. I call them Thundercats. Anybody that's been DJing less than 5 years, a Thundercat to me. So trying to teach them the ways of coming up, the ins and out about DJing, what they look for in wanting to be a DJ. Some tell me they just do it to be cool, just to be down. Some say they do it for the love of the music, and that's basically how I started. So I'm just here to learn, man, and to pick up what I can.
Awesome, brother. Super excited to have you, man. Thank you for joining us on the call today. Up next, I got my brother Flash Horton. Can you please introduce yourself, tell people who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Flash Horton, DJ, producer, playlister, engineer, and instrumentalist. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Basically, I've joined this program to one network with other DJs around the world and just continue to amass knowledge of the things that I might incur in the future, such as touring, what it's like to DJ in certain clubs and certain venues, and how to handle business. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, so uh, let's act accordingly. Thanks.
Awesome, brother. Always appreciate you being here and always adding great input to these conversations. So we always appreciate you being here, Mo. Up next, we have my brother, superstar DJ Rose. Can you please introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rose, professionally known as Superstar DJ Rose. Originally from Brooklyn, New York. Been in Atlanta for 27 years at this point. I'm basically what you call a DJ coach. Position myself as being the Gary Vee of the DJ business. I provide information, help DJs build their brands and their businesses. What I look to do is always on these calls either provide value and information, and also look to connect with other DJs. As far as like the things that I need, just more connection. We're building a global network, and I just love to reach out to more new DJs, as my man said, Thundercats, and let's continue to help build out the DJ community.
Awesome, brother. Always excited to have you here. Last month, you led the call and it was tremendous. I know a lot of DJs got a lot of value out of it, and the information that you always put out, putting DJs on game and just really being an OG in the industry. So we really appreciate you and your support for the club. So everyone definitely connect with everyone that's in this chat. It's super important to build your network because you never know who's going to be able to help you, who's going to be able to help you get that next gig or introduce you to that next client. So networking is key. So definitely keep it up. Up next, we have my man's says Kaleski iPad. Can you introduce yourself and say who you are, where you're from, and what brings you to these networking calls? What you want to get out of it?
Yeah, it says Kaleski iPad, but I am DJ Dirty Dan, the dirty guy. Hey,
Mobile, good, my guy.
Yeah, Mobile, Alabama, man. Shouts out to all the DJs on the call, man. Listen, man, I'm just a dot connector, man. 20-year radio vet. I think I'm right now in one of the hottest markets in the world right now, which is Mobile, Alabama. Artists like Young Blue, Rilo Rodriguez, Flo Milli, No Cap. There's a lot coming out the market. And my thing is just networking with the DJs and continue to build a relationship because it's so important. The DJ is so important. And I'm just, all you guys is on this call, man. I know you mean something to the places where you at, and just being the soundtrack for so many people. So I just want to salute everybody on the call. And that's why I'm here, man. I just want to network. I got a lot of artists I work with all the time, so I'm always servicing music. So it's just great to be on a call with DJs all across the world. And salute to you, D, man. This platform is so well needed, man. I know all the DJs probably tell you this all the time, but it's so important to have platforms like this because we are the business. We are the network.
Definitely, brother. And we just dropped your episode for the My DJ Story podcast. So I'm really glad that I got a chance to interview you and encourage everyone to check out his episode. Really great story, brother. So thank you for being here. I love your energy. You're really doing some big stuff. So appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Up next, we have my brother who led the music, DJ Super Jam. Brother, can you please introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? DJ Super Jam. I've been DJing since '76. It's still a hobby to me. It's still a love, and I can't stop. I'm in trouble. I got like people that are like, yeah, you've been doing it so long, and can't you give it up? Sorry, can't give it up. It's just a part of it. And it's hard. I was just talking to a friend of mine today. I said, it's hard to explain the feeling that we have when we rock a crowd and when the crowd like yells or you play the right song at the right time or you know what I mean? Even if somebody comes up and asks you for a song and you decide, okay, let me try that, and you hit it and it's hot and you like, because you played it, that party's rocking, which then inspires you to play something else and get your wheels turning again. It's like we have to be really creative people at what we're doing. And I love this platform because here we get to share a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of stuff. And I'm always learning. Rose, definitely a world of information. I'm sorry I missed the last show. I have to still go back and watch it. I was in the States and I was unable to get on. But I'm here. I'm also available like for any questions, anything having to do with radio shows, making mixes, this and that. I do productions also and everything, beats and beat packs, whatever, So just feel free to reach out.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for being here and all you do for the community. You're definitely an asset, one of the people that have been rocking with us from very beginning. So we really appreciate you and everything that you do. Thank you so much.
Glad to be a part.
Up next, we have my guy, internet famous, who out there partying. What's good, my brother? Introduce yourself, everyone, who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls.
Hey, thanks, Daryl, for having me. Awesome to hear everybody what everyone's up to already as it is. I'm excited to hear what everyone else is up to here in the call. I'm just internet famous, based out of Texas. I'm actually here with our group right now. We're getting ready for a show here in a little bit. Got my boy Radix, the OG Radix. I'm DJ for that project as well. Amazing singer. What we're planning to do, just in general, what we're looking to get out of anything right now upcoming is just anybody who's willing to share our upcoming music, obviously get in touch with some of the DJs here. That's awesome. Like, any support that we can get, just spreading our music. Maybe having us come play in your city with each other, other DJs. I mean, we love to travel. We love seeing new places, eating good food, some local spots, and just a good time. And, I'm just very thankful for Daryl, what you got going on. I love the community, seeing how much has been building up since we first got in touch. And I'm just, honestly, I'm open book to anything, man. I'm just here chilling, vibing, hanging out. So I'm all up for whatever, Yeah, let's all stay in touch. Let's all, get together, chop it up for sure.
Awesome, brother. Hey, appreciate you, man, and love the energy. Always coming with the positive vibes. Always so positive and open and chill, man. So I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate you being on the call.
Of course, brother.
Up next, we have your name on the call is Mixtape Mondays. If you want to introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls.
Come on, man. You know who it is. It's your man Mel B. Easy, the one and only. You know what it is. Mixtape Monday. It's my podcast. Come on, man.
What's good, brother? How you doing?
What it is. You know Mel B. Easy. You know why I'm here. I'm here to connect. I'm here to meet up with new people. I'm just here to have fun.
Appreciate you, man. Where you calling in from, brother?
You know where I'm at. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in that old dirty, where it's raining and it's hot. It's confusing as well as bipolar. This shit is crazy. I don't know to wear a sweater or shorts. It's crazy out here, B. I see you last around. Yeah, you know this weather ain't crazy, B. You don't know to wear swimsuits or a goddamn tracksuit, B. This shit here crazy out here.
Hey, man, we appreciate you being on the call, man. Definitely want to hear about your show, Mixtape Mondays. Definitely want to hear a little bit more. If you want to do a quick plug about what it is real quickly before we move on to the next
basically, Mixtape Monday is what I go around interviewing mixtape DJs from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I put it on hold because I just had a baby. So, that's kind of like brother. My main focus right now was my daughter. But I already got interviews with C Styles, Sense, C Styles, Sense, DJ Bobby Black. I got a bunch. I got my man Tape Master from New York. What up, D Mecca? I got a bunch of big name DJs. You know what I mean? But I just put it on hold for now. Cause like I said, I'm being a dad for the first couple of months. Then I'll jump back and do it. You know what I mean?
Hey man, congratulations and keep up the great work, brother. You're really killing it.
Thank you. All right, I'm off. Hold on, my mic is off.
All right, up next we have my brother Alan Cooper. What's going on, brother? Can you please introduce yourself and tell people who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls?
Hey, I appreciate it. My name is Alan. I go by the name of DJ A Smooth. I reside out here in Seattle, Washington. Currently from Washington D.C. So I'm all over it. I'm all over the place. So yeah, what I would like to get out of these network calls, is to really how to market smart. To be a better person to a market. And now that Seattle is starting to open up, and I know that when I used to live in California, it was no problem having jobs. Like now I'm in Seattle. People don't really know me. So I wanted to learn how to just pick brains and learn how to really market yourself. And, I'm just here just to connect, pick your brain and really just be this, the student of the game. I've been DJing for 20 years, but I'm still a student of the game because I don't know everything. So I just love hearing wisdom from other people who've been doing it way longer than me.
Awesome, brother. Hey, we're super excited to always have you on the call, man. And thank you for just being so open-minded and really being a student to hearing the stories of other people and being open to asking for advice. Some people have a hard time just simply asking for the advice. And when you do that, you're able to really learn and move forward with your career. So good luck to you and everything you got going on, and looking forward to hearing your insight. Cool. So up next, we have my brother Play DJ EJ. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls.
Yeah, for sure. What's going on, everybody? My name is DJ EJ. I'm actually in Charleston, West Virginia. I'm sure many of you probably have not heard of West Virginia before, let alone Charleston. So just to be able to be involved in something like this is a big deal to me because I've always been a fan of the culture of the DJ. I've always respected the culture of the DJ, and I'm always wanting to expand the network and also be trusted by people outside of this rural community that I live in, so I can have an opportunity to show my skills, my talents, and just network with people and be able to also hopefully bring people into this area to where it's like, I never thought about going to West Virginia. Oh, but there's a dope community that supports good music. Yes, like they're here. It's just, you just never think about it. So again, I'm DJ EJ from Charleston, West by God, Virginia. And I'd love to network, link up with anybody. I'm from the Eastern Panhandle, West Virginia, so I know about the DMV area, Baltimore and all that, but I live down here in the state capital. So it's nice to meet everybody.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you, man.
Right on.
And this guy has a lot of knowledge as well, so definitely lean on him for information about this industry. So up next, we have Said the Saint. What's going on, Said? Introduce yourself. Tell people who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls.
Okay, thank you, Daryl. Hey, y'all. I'm Said the Saint. I am from New Orleans, Louisiana, but I live and work and play in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a DJ that's open format, so I do a little bit of everything, but I am also a founder of Stage Wing, which is a DJ gear sharing community. So just think or imagine of like an Airbnb, DoorDash of DJ gear, where you can put your equipment out there and make money on it if you wanted to provide it to another DJ to use it when they're in your city. Or if you're traveling to their city, you can rent someone else's equipment too. So check us out, stagewing.com. And it's also a Stagewing app on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks.
Awesome, Said, and congratulations on everything you're doing with Stagewing. Make
Thank
sure, hey, if y'all got equipment you're not using, why not rent it out to a DJ that's traveling to your city, make a extra couple of dollars, and continue to build out your network and utilize your assets. So I think it's an awesome business you got going on, and looking forward to helping and supporting you with what we're doing with the club. So thank you for being here on these calls. Up next, we have my brother DJ I95. Man, how you been, man? Talk to us. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls.
Yeah, I go by the name of DJ I95. I live in New Haven, Connecticut. As far as what I do, I'm a DJ, remixer, and a DJ that also do edits. You might have seen my stuff on the SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and Epic Record Pool. What I want to get out of these calls, just learning more, trying to figure out what I can do better, what I should do better.
Awesome, brother. Hey, there's going to be a lot of learning opportunities as we got some great speakers and great people on the call that's going to drop some knowledge. So come with questions, please, anything that's on your mind, be able to utilize the network we're building and the DJs with so much experience and knowledge that can really help in whatever issues, because a lot of these DJs have been there, done that. So any issues you may have, why not go to your peers and be able to get that knowledge and the information. So excited to have you on the call, brother, and looking forward to hearing any questions you have for the DJs on the call as we go into our conversation. Up next, we have Dion, DJ Ald. Please introduce yourself to everyone, who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls.
Hi, everyone. DJ Ald. I just like really listening to a lot of people and hear their perspectives, especially people with more time in the game. I may have more time on earth, but a lot of you have more time in the game. I made a friend with DJ Bass Jam. We've been talking back and forth and sharing knowledge with each other, and that's been great. In fact, he gifted me a beautiful new logo. And so, I'm always interested in networking. I'm still trying to get my little business going. I'm doing my second wedding in August 14th. And things are starting to pop without actually having, like, this has all been word of mouth. So, you know, I guess in terms of questions, a lot of my questions would be more technical. So if anybody ever has any time to sit down, and like today I was trying to get my time code vinyl working and I couldn't get it working and things like that.
Awesome. And hey, I think that this is a super great example of how networking has helped you, being able to connect with Bass Jam and be able to get a logo and just also a friend you can go to and really go to for advice. I think that's super awesome. You're a prime example of being able to utilize your network to aid you in your business. So thank you for being such an amazing example. And we always appreciate you on these calls. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Is there anyone, did I miss? I don't think I missed anyone. I think we're good to introduce the person that will be leading our call today. So we have my brother, DJ Lyrics. Jay, can you please introduce yourself to everyone, who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these networking calls before we jump into our conversation?
Perfect. How you guys doing today? First of all, thank you so much, DJ Super Jam, for that mixing. Great jams. I love a lot of that hip hop. That's kind of my most favorite type of stuff. A big shout out to Daryl, our CEO. You know, much love to Jersey. Thank you for everything that you and your team have put together to go ahead and keep having these meetings and this amazing app for all of us to connect in. Also, a big shout out to everyone that just spoke. DJ Rose, Flash Horton, EJ, Sid the Saint, Mecca, Dirty Dan, Internet Famous. Congratulations, Mel B. Easy, on your baby. We also want to give a shout out to DJ A Smooth, 195, and DJ, also congrats on that second wedding. Myself, I'm originally from North Hollywood, California. Okay, the Great 1-8. And I am currently now in Las Vegas, Nevada. And what I do is I also own a wedding DJ business. I do clubs, and I also own a DJ school that's based out here in Las Vegas and in California, which is called Lyrics DJ Academy.
Awesome, man. Hey, we're super excited to have you here on the call. Just so everyone knows, he's been rocking with me since day one when I launched the first app for the club, and he's just been a wealth of knowledge and support of what we're doing. So I want to bring him back here. As you've seen him in many of these calls, drop so much knowledge and wisdom. And the fact that he runs the DJ Academy, he has a lot of information that he can share to help and support. So I want to bring Jay on here to really lead a conversation and really engage with, you know, the thoughts and the things that everyone has on this call, so we can really engage in this great conversation. So Jay, I don't know if you have a topic in mind that you want to kind of, you know, get everyone to start yet, but definitely everyone, if you have questions, please jump in. We want this to be as engaging as possible because your words may influence another DJ on this call, or even someone that's watching the live stream, because it's also on our social media for people that are not in the Zoom but are just spectating. We want to be able to just be as helpful as possible. So please be engaged and definitely don't be shy to speak.
Right. So thank you so much for that, Daryl. You guys know me as DJ Lyrics, but also I'm known as Jay the DJ in the wedding industry. Today's topic, I'm going to open it up for questions after I'm done just kind of covering some sections that I have in mind. But the most important thing out of the things that I want to speak about today is pricing yourself out as a DJ. It's one of the biggest issues a lot of DJs have, because I've noticed it's one of the biggest fears, or a lot of the situations where they don't have enough knowledge to see which direction they want to go in financially. So whether you're doing a club, or you're out touring, or you're doing, let's say, for example, something to help the community, you know, or you're doing weddings, pricing yourself is very important, because it really gives an opportunity to see not only what you're worth, but also to be in that market where DJs are in demand. And like I always tell everybody, DJs, that career path that you've picked, that was a hobby, that was a child dream, you know, that you started, it becomes something that's a necessity, because most DJs tend to kind of feel like, hey, you know what? There's a lot of competition. It's really competitive out there. It's really hard. But in all honesty, you got to ask yourself, is it really? Because me personally, I have never found myself against competition. And the reason for that is because there's always birthdays, there's always weddings, there's always corporate companies, there's always fashion shows and everything. So the thing is, where are you marketing yourself to be able to stay busy, right? And then how are you pricing yourself? You have to understand there's also tiers of clients when it comes to pricing. You have your low end tier and you have your high end tier. And those tiers are very important because you want to see where you want to stand. If it is a really strong hobby for you and it's something that you only do on Saturdays, you're the kind of person that probably doesn't worry about the financial instabilities that come with DJ, because you have a good job, you probably have good Medicare, you probably have a really good paycheck. Excuse me, sorry, I'm gonna close my door. My kids are napping. So with that, you want to make sure that you're completely taking care of yourself. Now, someone like myself, I've been a DJ for 25 years. This year, when I turned 40, I hit my 25-year mark. There are veterans that I have learned from, veterans that I admire, newcomers that I admire. And, you know, because everyone comes with so much information and so many different backgrounds. And it's always, you know, I feel like I live in a world where I'm constantly learning, like other DJs have mentioned as well. So I appreciate that. Now, as far as what you're pricing, well, let's do something simple. Let's bring a simple example. You've got a birthday party, right? And in this birthday party, you got 2 tops, 2 subs, DJ lights, and you have all your cables, and you basically have to kind of run the party. Some DJs will charge $200 for 4 or 5 hours. Is that a good price? In my personal opinion, honestly, no. The reason being is all the effort you're putting in. It's your setting up, your breakdown, and then the value of what you're capable of. Now, this is a very strong bad habit to lowball themselves as new DJs because you're new in the market. You feel the market's saturated with DJs. You feel like you're fighting that competition. But you shouldn't feel afraid to charge what is fair. Now, that question, what is fair, is a very big question because a lot of people, they're like, well, what is fair? Well, I always tell my DJs, when in doubt, never go below $100 an hour. When in doubt. Why? Because you're worth that. You know, and I'm sure, Dion, that happens a lot. But you're worth that. So you want to make sure that you're covering your back. Why? Because $400 in those 4 hours is $400 more every month that you'll be making. So that's $1,600 if you're booked once a week for a whole month, right? And that's $1,600 that can go back into your equipment. That's $1,600 that can go back into bills. That's $1,600 that can go into everything. Now me, and probably like Rose, I do this strictly for a living. I don't do anything else. My wife, she does nothing else, you know? So for me, pricing myself out is a dated, you know, it's a yearly situation. You know, I have to make sure my bills are covered, my kids' hospital bills, you know, medicine, food, and not taking governmental help, you know, because I'm building a business to provide for my family and I'm building something that I'm giving to my children, you know. But so when it comes down to pricing yourself, the number one rule is when in doubt, never charge less than 100.
Jay, quick question.
Yes.
In regards to like strategy on how to confidently, you know, pitch to the client what the price is, do you have any tips on like how do you justify that this is your price? Because, you know, I interviewed a lot of DJs, and one of the things that some of the DJs are still struggle with today is just how do I position myself when I'm talking to these clients that they are okay with my price and not trying to, you know, negotiate me down or trying to, oh, but this DJ can do it for this amount. How do you confidently justify your price, and what's some tips that you have for that?
That's an incredible question, and I was actually gonna get to that. And I appreciate that question because it is exactly what every DJ asks themselves. Now, here's the thing: if you're in a club, the way you come into a strategy to price yourself is way different than the strategy you use when you're doing weddings. when you're doing private events, corporate events. It's a very different strategy. And I would leave it to Rose to be able to cover the club pricing, because that's something that he'd be able to help you with when it comes to that, marketing yourself and all that. So any DJs that are doing clubs or doing shows like that, go to Rose. He'll be able to help you out on that. Me, I'm happy to help you guys when it comes to pricing yourself. And that question that you asked, when the client says, this person offered me this much, why should I go with you? And the reality is this: as a wedding DJ, and like everything else, you paint the picture. And how you paint that picture, you have to deliver that picture. See me, I have a simple $9.95 3-hour event that I give my clients: one DJ light, my wash effects, 2 top speakers, no subs, a front table facade, $9.95 4 hours. Jay, how do you sell that? Well, one, I want you guys to know this. I live in Las Vegas. This is the wedding capital. This is where people from every state, every country come to get married. How did I build a business that's so strong in this place? Is because I came in with a lot of confidence. Now, here's the pitch that I would personally give my clients. This is something that I go off the top, and it's just kind of something I've been doing for the last 15 years. You know, I always tell my clients, listen, one thing I do want to cover with you is you're going to find yourself meeting a lot of DJs that are going to offer you different prices. And sometimes those prices are going to seem really hard to believe because it seems like a steal. And when I use the word steal, I don't mean it like they're trying to rob you, but they are trying to take your money, and they'll take anything that they can take. So my job is to be able to make sure that not only are you having a spectacular day, and I'm working with your vendors, I'm working with the venue, and I'm making sure that you and your fiance are having an incredible day. My job is also to be able to give you a price that's not only reasonable, that'll fit within your budget, but also doesn't feel like something that's too good to be true. Now, the equipment that I do offer is great audio, clear, concise announcements, making sure that we provide an amazing app that helps you organize your entire evening. Okay. Now, what separates me from the DJ that probably offered you $450 for 4 hours versus my $9.95 is the experience that I'm offering you. As you can see on Wedding Wire, on the Knot, and you can view through my website, I have a lot of video reviews, and I also have amazing reviews from all my clients that not only look at us as we treat them like family, but it's also something that's very important in that memory. The one thing we want to avoid is you picking the DJ that costs less but gave you the worst experience, and you can't take that back. So that's one thing we definitely want to avoid. And those are things, now stepping out of that, those are things that I kind of give an idea that my clients ponder on. And that's the thing. I never, ever, ever, ever fear that they'll go somewhere else. In fact, I have a client today that hit me up in January, and they wrote to me. And in January, I gave them a discount. I said, you know what? I'll do your event for $800. Well, today they paid $1,000 for that event that they're having in November. Why? Because one, they reached back out. They knew the quality of service that was going to be given to them. I saw how many times they visited my website, and all I did was patiently wait. Because if you're sitting there trying to take the money, oh my God, I got to get this, and that, then you're going to live on a paycheck basis, which is on a month to month, which is on a, are you going to work or are you not? Number one rule is never, ever, ever in every month, book to work. Always book to be able to have future work. That's one of the most important things. People ask me, Jay, how is it that you make over 5 G's every month, even through the pandemic? Because I'm not thinking about what I have to go do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm thinking about what's happening. If I'm in January, I'm already thinking March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January again. Boom. Am I booking 15 bookings a month? And then I go and I work maybe 4, maybe none, because it costs more to hire me than it does to hire one of my DJ crew. Now, if you're like a DJ All, where you're starting off and you're going out and you're doing events, I love that we have somebody that's new on this, because it gives an opportunity to start right. Okay. And so you want to start strong, so you finish stronger. You don't want to start low so that you're struggling to get to the top. Now, with those prices can be everything. Let me tell you something. In Jersey, DJs charge well over $1,700 for a 4-hour gig. Easy. And I know that from DJ Bar. I know that from all the other DJs that I've been connected with that are out there. And I'm like, dude, you guys are phenomenal. And you know what the beauty of that is too, though, is each one of those DJs started off at least $100 an hour. Because when in doubt, never charge less than $100. I mean, I charged $100 an hour in 1996 and 97 and 98. It's my go-to charge if I ever felt like that was a problem. Also, here's another thing. When you're doing events and weddings, you price for the value of the amount of people. If I'm only DJing 40 people, 50 people, I might not charge as much. I might do paid in fulls. I'll be like, hey, you know what? We'll do 3 hours for 700, but it's a paid in full. You know, if because sometimes people's budgets, when it comes to that small amount, obviously they have that small amount because they can't afford to do more. So at that point, you have to kind of read the room and be like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe budget might be an issue. Of course, you never ever say that to a client. Those are keywords you never want to bring up to a client's face. You never want to make them feel like they're broke. You want to avoid that. You want to make them, my question to every client is, hey, how spectacular do you want your wedding to be? How amazing do you want your event to look? Do you want a lot of lighting, a little bit of lighting? Do you want something simple? Maybe you're the type of person that likes simple things. And they're like, oh, you know what? I just want it really simple. So my client, the one that just booked for 1,000, she was like, oh man, you know what? We didn't even talk about the 800 that existed. I didn't even let her think about that. All I said was, hey, so I know it's been a while since we spoke, and I can't remember. Did you want it to be a little simple, or did you want it a little extravagant? And she was like, no, I want it simple. And I said, cool. Well, as you see on my website, the most simplest package is my essential: 1 DJ light, 2 top speakers. We provide the full entire MC services, and we provide the Vibo app that's going to go ahead and keep everything organized for you. By the way, if you guys haven't heard what Vibo is an amazing app that my boy Michael out on that side of town as well, in Jersey, has created for DJs in the wedding community and parties. And it's amazing. I'll talk about it another day. You guys can go ahead and hit me up and I'll introduce you to them. But if you're in the wedding industry, it's something I do recommend. Now, with all that being said, buyers are liars. If you've ever been in sales, you know this rule. You will have some of those clients that will beg for the lowest cost. And then when the day comes, you'll be pissed off because they're showing off like they got money and they got all these things. One thing I will tell you as a DJ is ignore that. You price yourself the way you price yourself because you have a good heart. It is what it is. Okay. Now, another important thing is, where are you finding these clients? Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. Facebook has been amazing to me when it comes to weddings. And it's not only amazing when it comes to weddings. If you know what groups to look for in your community, you'll find yourself sinking into that world of what people are looking for. So for example, me, I have the Las Vegas wedding community, the Las Vegas wedding planning, everything that has to do with weddings, I'm in it. And people have reached out to me. The Las Vegas wedding community thingy that they have here, they reached out and they're like, hey, you know what? We really want to have you come on board. We won't even charge you the fee and this and that. And when they offered me that, I rejected it because they have rules. And I don't like to be subjected to those rules. I don't like to be treated like I'm just an option through them. I like to do my own thing. I've always been that way. That's why I'm my own boss. I don't even like working at regular jobs. I don't like nobody telling me what to do. The one thing I was proud to say was when Caesar's Palace and the Caesar's Entertainment called me, and they asked me if there was a way that they could have me be one of their vendors. All-in-one events, being a vendor for Caesar's Entertainment is a really big thing here in Las Vegas because Caesar's Entertainment owns so much, right? And that also showed how much trust they have in our business. Guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are doing any work, you got to make sure, one, everything looks good and uniform. No cables are dangling. Things aren't out of place and look wobbly or sideways. Your table looks like it's got a bunch of junk and you don't have nothing covering it. Make sure you have that stuff, whether it's a table facade or a full facade. Make sure you're organized and you train yourself at home how you set up and break down, because those things are very important. How much time it takes you is very important. It takes me, my wife does this, okay? It takes my wife, and I'm not gonna say me because it takes me a little faster. My wife can set up 2 tops, tripods, facade, table, scrim, light, 25 minutes. when we get to an event. So we get to an event very confident, knowing boom, boom, boom. You know, we're going to set up and break down easy, right? I always tell my clients, we'll be there an hour in advance. Never be late. Any event, whether you're doing a club, a special engagement, anything, never be late. That's like one of the worst things you can do. Another thing I wanted to talk about, because we covered how to talk to clients. What type of gear are you using? When you're doing events, be careful with the gear that you purchase. Some people will purchase the DJ gig bar. Some people will purchase the ADJ or Stinger or the Chavez Swarm, right? I always tell clients, hey, no, I always tell DJs, check this out. Don't overwork yourself. You want to work smart and easy. You don't want to work hard. You know, you want to work where on the day of, you're not sweating like crazy and you're not setting up all this massive stuff. You don't have to do that. I know we've seen some DJs that have towers with moving heads. You can have that. You can charge more for that. They have TVs. You don't necessarily have to have that. In the Las Vegas area, I am considered the most reasonable DJ. That was what a lot of clients use. Jay is the most reasonable DJ. He doesn't bring this huge extravaganza, but he brings enough to make it look beautiful. That means I have Dancing on the Clouds, 2 towers with moving heads for spotlighting, a single spotlight, and 1 wash effects. That wash effects, by the way, I swear by it. If you've never used it, buy the wash effects Hex, the newest one. It's going to be the best investment you'll ever make. 1 light, hang it up. It'll cover a beautiful wash. You won't have lasers on people's faces. You won't have moonflowers on people's faces, because you have to remember, they have family members that are recording those events. And if you don't have a professional light, you're going to see dots and everything on people's faces and it just looks funky. But a nice wash effects that's strong, it's full color scheme, covers the whole room. You don't even need uplights all the time. You want to add uplights, that's cool. You can make it look beautiful for dinner and whatnot.
Hey, Jay, a few people
Yes.
just joined the room. Would you mind if I give them an opportunity to introduce
Yes,
yourself? Cool. So I see DJ Foreplay. You want to introduce yourself to the people, just who you are, where you're from, and what you want to get out of these calls? If you're there. Also, I see Greg Hunt just jumped in too. Greg, you want to introduce yourself?
Mike check.
Yep,
Can
we
you
can
hear?
hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Greg Hunt out of Jersey, same state the club is from. DJ, producer, songwriter, sound designer, composer, willing to help out with people on making songs, and also, network everybody. You never know where you could be helpful at.
Awesome. We got Capo Don Juan. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up? Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of dark over here, man. I just put the young in the bed, so I'm not trying to make up too much noise. It's adult time right now.
Hey, no problem, brother.
But yeah, I'm over here on, just to take notes, seeing what you guys are doing, coming with this, I don't know if they're gonna shut down everything again or what, but I want to get tips on using OBS, if anybody use OBS, because I have no clue how to use it. I am like dumb as hell when it comes to that. I'm still using phase. I still get a little drift issue with it. So I remember last time I was on here, somebody was talking about the phase and the update, but I still got a little issues. So I went back to using the RCAs with it, and it seemed to work a little bit better. But yeah, just to get tips from everybody and push and motivate each other.
Appreciate you, brother. And then we got Rod Flash. If you want to introduce yourself as well, then we'll give Jay back the floor to keep on talking. Okay, cool. Hey, Jay, you can continue, man. I appreciate you.
Well, welcome everybody that just came in. As we were talking about, is just kind of some topics as far as being in the wedding industry or private event industry. Those of you that did come in, if you're in the clubs or working with artists or getting on that, I do recommend speaking with DJ Rose. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. Getting back on topic with some of the things I wanted to cover. Now, we've covered how to set up your equipment, kind of, right? We've covered pricing yourself and having some confidence in that. We've covered some ideas of where to find clients. Also, in topics as far as where to find clients, I also use Wedding Wire and the Knot. You will see things like the Bolt you know, where they say, you know what, oh, don't use wedding wire, don't use the knot. Somebody who's been doing it for a long time, I would recommend them, you know, because it's like this. Anywhere you can find clients is a good client. Places where I don't use, because me personally, I don't charge really low, is like Thumbtack. But if you are somebody who's new, use Thumbtack. There's a, you know, you can do $100 and then you can go ahead and just kind of, when you connect, you get charged. It does feel more competitive there because people are looking for the lower end budget DJs, and most of the time it's just parties. But you can upsell yourself. And when I mean upsell yourself is like this. I had a client who found a DJ. He told him $800. He said, Jay, this guy's charging me $800. He's bringing exactly what you're bringing. Why should I pay $800 to him? Why should I pay $1,200 to you instead of the $800 to him? And like I told his name's Mike, but like I told Mike, let me explain something to you, Mike. It's your daughter's wedding, right? He's like, yes. And I said, and you as a musician, because he's a musician, right? He does bands and all that stuff. I said, you know music really well, right? He's like, yes. And I said, okay, well, I want you to consider two things. $800 for everything that I offered you from another DJ. Does that seem fair to you, or does that seem a little bit off to you? And I said, and when the DJ explained this to you, was he really resourceful with all the explanation? Did he explain from beginning to end everything that was going to happen, or did he just kind of run through it as quick as possible and just threw you a price to see if you were happy? And he thought about it. He was like, well, he just kind of threw the price at me, you know, and it just really sounded like, okay, damn, $800. I mean, that's still a lot of money. And I said, of course, $800 is a lot of money, but $1,200. I said, Mike, these are the things that I'm going to do for you. This is how the reception is going to go. This is how I'm going to speak to the vendors. This is how this is a venue that already knows me. I do recommend that you speak to the vendors about whether they know this DJ or not. And at that point, he didn't even have to call me back. He literally at the end of our conversation was like, you know what, Jay, I do feel a lot more comfortable with you. I like the way that you explain everything. I like the way that you put me at ease with the price. And you know what, just email me the contract. And those are things. How you build rapport with those clients is a huge thing. Remember that, guys. You got to have confidence in this world. And I know a lot of DJs in this group have so much confidence, and it's amazing to see that. I love that. So definitely pick the brains of those DJs if you're new in this industry, or even if you've been in this industry a long time, but you feel like you've been held back and you got to, you know, go back to your regular day job. I did want to cover a couple things real quick also. Where to get your music. If you've been to BPM Supreme, you'll see BPM Supreme recently has started doing the list, right, of wedding events and club music and everything. That's something that if you're already a seasoned DJ, you've probably been doing yourself on your own stuff, right? And I personally use BPM Supreme. I use eighthwonderpromos.com. I've been using Eighth Wonder Promos since they first started, which was like over 15 years ago. And they've been around for a long time doing digital music. I also use DJ City, but Eighth Wonder Promos is my go-to when it comes to music videos and when it comes to downloading MP3s. For those of you, another thing I wanted to cover real quick before I get into questions, using right now, you know, this pandemic, it's kind of going back and forth with this variant. So a lot of people are going to be stressed out about where to make money. I don't mind helping DJs when it comes to understanding how to use Twitch, how to use OBS, like was mentioned earlier. And also, you brought up, one of the guys that came in brought up Phase. I'm happy to go over some of the ideas and things that I did to be able to help with Phase. I do tell all the DJs, I'm happy to work for free. My wife gets mad at me for that. So I do always offer, if you guys want to donate anything, you're more than welcome to, because my wife says you got a lot of information and we can be making money for the baby. So, you know, but I'm always happy to help. Out of all the topics that we just brought up, does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask?
Hey, Jay, can I jump in real quick before we start doing questions?
Yes, please.
Okay. One thing I want to point out about what Jay did not do, and it's really important before we start going into questions and other things. You notice that he never said to the client, what's your budget? He never, in anything that Jay just said, he never said to the client, what is your budget? and gave that power away to the client. What he did is he established his value and he presented his value in tiers. And that is so important whether you're a private vendor or you're a club DJ. I just had a one-on-one today with one of my students, and we talked about this. And so he was telling me he's having a hard time. He lives in Austin, Texas. He was telling me he was having a hard time going in and talking to the venue owners about booking it. I said, well, when you went in, what did you offer? And he was quiet. He didn't understand the question. I said, so let me rephrase it. I said, did you just go in as a DJ? Did you just say, hey, I'm DJ Scratch and Sniff. I want to DJ at your club. Will you hire me? Was that your approach? And he sheepishly said yes. I said, well, that's where you went wrong. I said, because that's what 99% of the other DJs do. What is your movement? You didn't establish a value. So you got to think about it from this standpoint. And I really want to cover this before we start going into other things. All right, let me back up. So you get skilled in your bedroom or your basement. And now you want to go out and you want to play in front of a crowd. There is something that is missing in that pocket, and that is salesmanship. Before you can become a salesman of a product, it doesn't matter if you're selling a vacuum cleaner or a DJ set. You have to establish what that product costs. Now, I want to tell you something, and I don't want you to forget it. If you don't establish what your value is before you attempt to get booked, you're going in as talent. You're not going in as a business owner. If you establish what your value of your DJ set is, and I love the $100 an hour thing that he said, I love that. If you establish what that value is, when you go in and you pitch yourself as a salesperson, you pitch yourself telling the client, club owner, birthday party, wedding, you name it. You go in telling them what your product costs. Think about it this way. You walk into a Target, you see a t-shirt says $25. You cannot walk up to the counter and say, you know what? I know this says $25, but I like to pay $17. No, the value has been established. So you have to stop thinking about your DJ business as if you were talent. Talent is a gift. You must establish what comes with booking you. Do you put out a playlist when you actually book with a client? That's part of your value. Do you put out a mixtape? Do you bring a mixtape release party at that particular club when they book you? That goes into your value. You're going to assign a price to that. So I just want to point out a couple of things. Price versus value, all right? Price is what you're willing to be paid for what you're doing. Value is what it actually costs. They're not the same. Second thing, every DJ should become a salesperson. The one thing that you notice about Jay's presentation, when Jay was telling you everything, even as he was telling it to us, he was giving a sales pitch. He was. And that's what each and every one of you must acquire as a student. The last thing is you never give the budget, you never give the power of saying, hey, I was thinking, what is your budget? They're going to lowball you. As you said, buyers are liars. You have to be willing to tell the client, the end user, what there's no way around. Okay, so Jay, I just want to jump in there, man, and just throw those in there. What's up, Mel?
I want to piggyback off what you said, Ross. Now, for those who don't know me, my name is Mel B. Easy. I've been doing this since '92. I'm a tour DJ. I've been on the road with Case since 2006. I done DJ for some of your favorite R&B artists. I done did clubs from Atlanta, New York, LA, all over. The main thing is what you got to understand is your value. Never ever compromise your value. What I mean by that is if you charge a price, stick to that price. I don't give a fucking, excuse my language, I don't care if it's your mom's, your what you call it, because once one person can get too low, everybody's gonna get too low because people talk. What you do is, if you know you charge 800, charge them 1,000, because now you know if you go low, it's gonna be 8. You're gonna charge the price. You see what I'm saying? Know your value. Now, a lot of people, like I said, I've been in Atlanta since 2003. I didn't see when they started cutthroating. They started cutthroating in 2006. That's when they started doing $150, because a lot of DJs felt like, oh, if I come in and I say this is what I do, you're hiring me. But I tell them this, once you set that price, that's always going to be your price. They're not going to pay you anything higher because you already set that price. Know your value. Your value is you. Never, ever, ever, ever play yourself. Like I said, I don't care if it's your friend or whatever. Keep that price the way it is, because at the end of the day,
If your man can't give you that price, he ain't your man. Yo, I'm out. Yo, I'm still here, but yo, keep talking. I'm listening.
That is so valuable because one of the things about what Mel just said, and again, congratulations on your daughter, man. I love the name Brooklyn, man. You know why I love it too. But let me just say this to you guys, man. When I've had two different DJ careers. I had one before the roast thing, and then I've got the post the roast and on. And the one thing that I learned when I started over was to hit them in the head with a price that I knew was disrespectful. So, and the reason that I did that from the very beginning, I had no history with his name, the whole nine. But the reason that I did that from the beginning is I wanted to test the water. I knew what I was bringing to the table, even though I was brand new. I wanted to see if they were willing to pay for it. So rather than me saying, hey, well, what's your budget for the DJ? I'm like, yo, my sets cost X, and then I shut up. I just kind of looked at them. And I remember the first time I did it, I kind of remember almost like they were like wobbling. And what they told me was, they were like, okay, we'll pay that for the first time, but after that, let's negotiate if it's going to be a residency. I said, cool, because what that meant to me is that now it's on me to back up that price. So guess what? I never renegotiated down. So I'm with Mel. If I know that my baseline is 350, which it never would be, but if I know my baseline is 350, I'm asking for 5 to 6. And then, if we got room that we need to talk, cool. But then the last thing I'm going to tell you before I let it go, make your price aspirational to the client. What that means is if you're negotiating with somebody and you tell them what you cost, what your value is, what booking you actually costs, and they wobble, what you can say is this, and I've said this a million times. Okay, I'll tell you what, since the budget isn't really kind of there right now for what you're doing, how about this? How about when Labor Day weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Halloween, New Year's Eve, how about when things are a little bit bigger on the budget, how about we circle back and we do a booking then? Right? And then I'll walk away from the gig. Now, here's the thing that's important about that, and it piggybacks on what Jay had said. Every single time that I've done that, they didn't wait till a holiday weekend to call me back, because what I've done is I've subconsciously let them know that I am a higher value. I am a premium book, right? So booking someone like me, who's been on tour with Beyonce, Christina Milian, Chris Tucker, and toured on my own, booking someone like me is a premium. So what they'll do is they won't wait for a holiday. They'll hit me back like, yo, Rose, tell you what, we got this coming up this weekend. It's a luau at the club. We got a bigger budget. We want to see if we can bring you in. Cool. They already know what that costs. So sometimes it is to your benefit to actually say, you know what, let's talk again when there's more money in the budget for the DJ service, because that shows that you have integrity with your value. Never throw, like Mel just said, never waver. I know you got a cell phone that's due. I know you got the mortgage that's got to be paid, but sacrificing the value of your DJ brand will hurt you more in the long run rather than taking that $150 gig. This will Sprint and Katona. Okay, so on that one, I'm gonna leave it alone and we'll pop back in.
And what's cool about that, off that, what's really cool about it, you want to make sure that you listen. So, for example, me, I don't see my clients ever. I don't see my clients till the day of. If that, I don't do walkthroughs, I don't do none of that. I talk to my clients and I'll say, all right, so because my deluxe package is my most famous package, right? That's $14.95, it's 3 hours, and then you can add Dancing on the Clouds and all that to it. And I'll throw that price out there. I'll say, okay, well, listen, this is what we offer. I don't even ask them, what are you looking for in your wedding yet? We get to that after I mention what it is that I offer, what my price is, because I want to hear their tone of voice. I want to hear when I say $14.95 and they're like, oh, so what comes with the $14.95 is either one question I'm going to get, or the other one's going to be like, well, it's a little out of my budget. And I'll be like, okay, well, that's when I'll ask them, well, what kind of budget were you looking at? And at that point, because they heard such a high number, they'll try to save themselves like $200. You'll hardly ever see them try to go $500 less. They'll be like, well, like $1,000 or $1,200, and it works because I have a package that meets that demand. You see what I'm saying? And I'm the owner of my business, so I can add and take away things as I please. I can be like, you know what, as a gift, I'm going to go ahead and add, a heart monogram that has 2 rings. That's not going to cost me anything. And it takes like 2 seconds. But to them, when I show it to them in a picture that I let them see, they'll be like, oh my God, that looks beautiful. And I'm like, and your family and friends can go ahead and take a photo next to it. It looks spectacular. And they look it. So it's exactly what Rose said. I never bring up, well, what's your budget? That's the one thing you want to avoid. The only time you do bring up that word is, like I mentioned, when they say it's a little bit too much. And then you kind of fish them to see where they're going to go after your high price. Some people will be very honest and be like, you know what? I really can't afford that. My budget's only $500. I had a guy who was offering me $500 for a 6-hour birthday party. And I told him, I said, unfortunately, that's not within the company's pricing as far as what my DJs do and what I do as well. So, but what I can do is go ahead and offer you some other DJs that might be able to meet that service and give you a good enough experience. Now, I told them, don't expect the experience that I offered. They are not affiliated with us, but they are DJs that cater to lower budget parties. And he was like, no, but I really want you. I love everything you said. And I said, I completely understand that. And I would love to be able to break away from the fact that, you know, I'm charging this price. The reality is, and this has to do with what they just said right now, what Mel B said, you cannot waver. And so I tell them in that moment, unfortunately, I do get a lot of bookings. We do this for a living, right? We cater to our entire business with this pricing. And, you know, like I said, I do have connections with DJs that can offer a very fun experience for you. And so, you know, at the end of the day, he was like, okay, thank you. Maybe we could do business when I have some more money on something else. And I was like, perfect. And that was the key thing based on what Rose just said. You might be able to head back, and when you have it in the budget, we'll talk.
I want to piggyback off of Jay and Ross and Mel B. Mel B and Ross know, being hustlers from New York, you need to tell these young cats, listen, all money ain't good money to chase. That's number one. All money ain't good money to chase. All right. Don't sell yourself. Don't sell yourself. Don't sell your soul just to get a gig. And for the money.
Rose, real quick, just because it gets feedback, so it's hard to hear them.
Oh,
thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Micah.
That was me with the feedback?
No, the feedback was from Rose. When he unmutes himself, it gets feedback. So I want to hear.
Okay. Yeah. Something Ross said, and I lost train of thought. But like I said, being New Yorkers, yes, you have to price yourself well. You have to price yourself for, if you're not going to charge for, no, I got it now. Know what you're DJing for. If it's a wedding, don't go in there with no, I'm gonna play some trap, this, that, and the third. Get that list from the client first. And then you can make suggestions. Just don't go in there with your mindset of, oh, well, since, you know, of course, the bride may say something, and truthfully, the bride and the groom are the one that control the playlist. If someone comes to you and say, yo, I got $20, yo, can you play WAP? Go speak to the bride or the groom, because they control what is supposed to be played. If they say, listen, we want jazz, we want dinner music for the first 2 hours, that's what you're going with. Don't go in there and playing, well, I'm gonna play some R. Kelly. I think that you're ready. No. I've come across a lot of young cats, you know, that had to ask me questions like that. But my first rule of thumb was, all money is not good money to chase.
And going off what you just said, Mecca, and sorry to cut you off, I did want to bring up what he just said that's very important, is the clients, right? The clients talking about the music. It is imperative that you collect that music, and how you collect that music is there's two very resourceful ways. One, you can use Spotify and let them know. If you don't have something like I do, Vibo app, which is again something I'll talk about on later on, have them use Spotify and say, hey, do me a favor, if you could just send me a couple songs that are very important to you. And that's a very, very important thing to say, because if not, they'll just throw a bunch of jams and you have a lot of stuff you got to do. You want at least like 20 to 30 jams. And then ask songs that are very important to you, that'll give me an idea of what it is that you like, and I can build around that. When it comes to dinner, I always tell my clients, I will tell you this much, I never give my clients the option to tell me what kind of music they want for dinner, what kind of music they want for cocktail hour. I provide the concept of what music I'm going to provide to them based on the fact that people are going to be meeting, having conversation, and we don't want anything drowning them out. And then at that point, I do suggest, unless there's anything that you would suggest that you'd like. And for the end of that, most of the time they say, no, you know what, Jay, you got it perfectly. Because we do want something that's elegant. We don't want it to sound ratchet. We want people to be able to talk. So I always tell them I have 40, I have top 40 that's in piano ballads. I have jazz music that's R&B and hip hop, like Wu-Tang and all that, but it's in jazz versions. So we just want to be able to have the clients have something that they can reminisce with without it being too excessive, right? Another thing.
Yo, Lyric, quick thing, not to cut you off. I just did a wedding in Detroit not too long ago, and I had to do what you said. I have a dinner playlist. So my dinner playlist consists of 90s, but early 90s stuff. You think I'm saying? You have to have a playlist ready for all moods. You got to have your dinner playlist. You have to have, like they say, your turn up. But what a lot of people fail to understand, you got to have clean music.
Yes.
A lot of people, when they do these events, they don't have clean music. And like I tell people, just because, like Ross said, if someone asks you to play WAP, you don't play WAP. You have to look at the wedding. If there's a bunch of older people, they're not going to listen to WAP. I don't care if it's the son or the daughter of the wedding party. You don't listen to them because you will. Like I tell people, you will get cursed out at certain weddings because you did something wrong by the wedding planner. You dig what I'm saying? So you gotta. It's like when I do concerts. You have to look at your room, play to your room.
And what's really important about that is, I'm glad you bring that up too, just so everybody is aware of this. What's really cool is you got to have clean versions, not just for the client. The venue's going to think about wanting you back. And if they see that you rock the party without any bad words, to them, that's golden. You're not going to go play dirty versions at a Macy's or at any venue, because then they're going to be like, holy crap. And there's some DJs that don't give a crap. And they're like, but they asked for it and they're cool with it, or the venue knows me. I get that. I totally do. But does the radio play dirty version? No. And there's a reason for that. It's because it shows the kind of DJ that you are. It shows that you're the kind of person that's a complete professional. This isn't a club setting. And if it's not a club setting, there's no reason to have to do that. If the clients want to sing, to Snoop Dogg's Ain't No Fun, and they get a bad word when you drop the volume, that's fine. But it's your job to maintain that clarity of professionalism and clean music, so that those vendors that are there that might offer you work because they know clients that they charge a lot and they know clients with money. You got to think about the vendor, the venue. Like if you're in any of the hotels, you're in any of those spots, and they're like, hey man, can we hire you for our pool parties? Because we like that you played clean music. That was cool that you didn't slip a single bad word in there. You don't want to sit there and play like that kids, you're such a fucking hoe, or WAP or things like that. You can also avoid music with sexual innuendos, and again, at that point, you're talking a whole entire spectrum of what songs are and what songs aren't that have sexual, if you're playing Aaliyah Rock the Boat, that's, she's talking all about sex. So, I love Aaliyah, rest in peace, but it's a song that I don't have as a go-to because I can survive without it, not playing R. Kelly songs or not playing certain songs that, are too overwhelming. You can avoid it. Like, I don't really ever play shots. I don't ever play, all those other upbeat songs, but I keep to what the clients like. And having a do not playlist is also very important. Understanding that your clients don't want it to be cheesy. They don't want the Cupid shuffle. They don't want the electric slide. Those are very important key questions. And again, I bring it up to the app that I use. That app, I have that. That app, it's taken so much stress off my back because one, it has this engine that connects to your hard drive and it reads all your music on your entire hard drive, right? And then when people select their music, you collect the playlist and you put it into the reader. And what it does is it grabs all the music, creates an M3U, and then you just drag it to Serato or Rekordbox or Virtual DJ, and it grabs all your music from your hard drive that's connected and it organizes it. And it's really, really cool. So that's something I definitely recommend. But if you want to do it manually like we used to back in the day, it will take you up a lot more time. It is important, like Mel said, have your different playlists. See, I have my playlist for my African Americans. I have my playlist for my for Filipinos. I have my playlist for Caucasians. I have my playlist for Latinos. Yes, it's called Bible. And you know, all those playlists, I have them. I will tell you one thing: make sure that you take advantage of Spotify. Make sure, because Spotify unlimitedly lets you download all those things so that you don't need Wi-Fi. And then you have your playlist that you play through Serato. And the reason why I say don't play it, why I'm saying have Spotify, is because you don't want to play these songs through Serato because there's gaps at the end. And if you leave it on autoplay, there's going to be empty noise. And you want to avoid empty noise. So it's better just to have something that has like a little mix engine that just kind of fades from one song to the next. And that's through dinner. And then at that point, you're not stressed out. You're not having to be back there like, oh crap, what's going on next? You can enjoy dinner and all that stuff. Now,
what about for record box?
For record box, yeah, it has the same thing. It connects with record box. The M3U is really cool because you can import them into anything, right? You can import it into iDJ. You can import it into record box. You can put it into Tractor. You can import it into Serato. And I'll send you guys, hit me up on Instagram and just message me Vibo, and I'll send you guys the information. You guys can speak with Mike, watch the video of how he teaches you everything. He has a discount where it's $1,000 for the whole year. So you save $200 for the whole year. Or like I do, it used to be $150 a month, but when the pandemic happened, now it's only $100 a month. But $100 to me ain't nothing when it's one of the most resourceful tools that I have, and it makes my life easy because it uses Spotify and YouTube for the clients to select music. What's really cool is you can export to Spotify and you can export to iTunes Music, and then you can export to your desired program that you use to DJ on, which is amazing. So with all that being said, I know it's already almost 6:30. I do want to tell you, when it comes to everything that I wanted to bring up today, the most important thing is pricing yourself. If you guys have any questions, again, for weddings and events and private shows, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. And from what I've had the pleasure of learning, Rose is the man to go ahead and speak to when it comes to shows. Make sure you speak to Mel B when it comes to shows. Those guys with that much experience, when it comes to getting your foot in the door and pricing yourself out to where the money that you deserve with the quality of service that you provide, take that advantage, man. Do the best you can with that. I appreciate you guys taking a chance to go ahead and listen to everything that I've had to say, and go ahead and send it back to Daryl. Thank you.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Jay. Thank you for all your information. I had a question as well in regards to expos and DJ conferences. So there's the DJ Expo 2021 that's coming up next week. And I'll actually be attending. I wanted to know, is anyone going to be attending that here in Atlantic City, New Jersey? And even if you haven't, if you're not, have you ever been to expos, DJ expos in the past? And what's the best way to kind of get the most value out of these events? Because I'm going to go for the first time and I'm like, all right, how do I make the most out of this? And just want to get some perspective from other DJs that have been.
You said next week. What's the date?
It's August 9th through the 12th.
No, I'm in DC. Okay, no.
I've been to it several times. You actually meet the actual company, not like the let's say Damn Ass. You're actually meeting with the actual people at the company. So you're actually cutting out the middleman of getting to these companies.
Okay.
And pretty much everybody goes. It's just DJs, and everybody's getting to know each other, networking, and everybody can say, "Hey, I got this gig coming up. Can you do it?" and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. I've been there several times, and I'm going to be there too.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we should definitely link up and chat more about it. I got the opportunity to actually host an event at the expo, so I want to see what makes the most sense of the timing and how I should go about it.
You said this is your first one?
Yeah, it's gonna be my first time going.
Oh, okay. I've been in the last 3. Basically, just go to every vendor that you see, get a business card. Like if you stop by, like Rock and Soul is gonna be there. You definitely want to hook up with Sharon and just get business cards from all the vendors because there's gonna be new stuff, pioneering them. They got, they coming out with some new stuff, new mark. You're gonna see some new new players to the game, and then, try to always look out for the room parties. The so like PV, they always have a room party. And like I said, you never know who you meet in front of those. Matter of fact, if you get to PV, look for DJ Groove. He's a representative. Tell him that I sent you. He'll definitely look out for you. That's all I'm. This is like probably like the first time I haven't made it in 4 years. But
Cool.
like I say, you try to hit every vendor, get a card, new, old, and all that. You should have fun and have fun with whatever you hosting. Matter of fact, what are you hosting at the?
Yeah, so I got connects with people at the Showboat, and they said that I can. They got it's called Surf Bar. I have the whole surf bar, and I can host an event there during the same time as the conference. So they said, hey, just let us know what time, and I pretty much can host an event. So I'm like,
nice.
I'm trying to like get some advice on, hey, what day should I host the event? What should I have there? What will people actually want to come out, or like do people just like want to go back to the rooms and party? So I want to make sure it makes sense. So like if the club is putting on this event, how can I make it most beneficial to people that are there?
Nobody's gonna want to go to a room. Everybody wants to go party.
Yeah, I would say if there's not an after party going on, call yours an after party, because that's where most of the people you're going to meet, they're not in a serious. They're more laid back a little bit, and sometimes you can make nicer connections with people and so on. I noticed that because in Germany we have a thing called a music messe. It's once a year, and you have like just halls of all the guitars and all different stuff, but you have a DJ area. And then you always have like a famous DJ that comes through. And then there's most of the time that DJ will be at an after party, and that's where everybody goes. And that's where a lot of connections are made. So.
Okay. Dope. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna think it through. Would it be like, so the conference ends at 6 p.m. Oh, well, sorry, the expo, the exhibits. Should it be like right at 6, or should it be like way like at night after people like go?
It would be a club. It would be a club thing. I mean, what we did is because I was working for Serato, and we had who was it? It was Jazzy J came over, and so we went to the club. Everything, they had flyers at the what's it called, at the expo. They had flyers there, so already getting everybody ready for the party. But you had an actual party that started at 10 or 11. Yeah, that was what was working. That's where everybody showed up there, and everybody got to enjoy the DJ and so on.
And if you're hosting something, host the middle of the week, if it's like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, people are just getting there Friday. You want to do Saturday around 2 o'clock, because if it's closing at 6, you don't want to get the last straggler. So if you're going to host something anywhere after 2 o'clock, from 2 to 5, host, and because Sunday,
Sunday's out.
Yeah, basically everybody's like out the door, even though the expo is on. Most of your crowd, most of the people that you want to try to get are going to be leaving. So you want to do like Saturday around 2 o'clock. That's probably the hype, the hypeness of the expo.
I'm gonna hit you offline, bro.
The funniest thing about every time I go. Yeah, the funniest thing every time I go, everybody stops and want to take pictures, and basically it's like I'm a star there. So I'm like the image of the expo every time I go.
Cool. Let's chat, bro. Rose, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I'm gonna date myself about what I'm about to say, man. But if anybody remembers Remix Warehouse back in the day, back in the 90s, I used to be one of the buyers. So we used to do.
What was it again?
Remix Warehouse. Remix Warehouse used to be the joint back in the 90s. But I was a buyer, so we did CES, we did DJ Expo. The one thing I will tell any DJ that's going out there, and I love what D Mecca said, you want to collect business cards and introduce yourself, but don't try to. Like, the one thing you don't want to do is be the DJ who's really trying to pitch himself to every single person at Serato or FaZe, or the expo is not really the place for that unless you catch that right rhythm and you guys are locked in. Then have that conversations, but don't go up like you're trying to run your game on every single person. It's just not. They're out there trying to meet women, Franks. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest. Meet women, show up information, and they're talking to 1,000,001 DJs. What you want to do, like D said, get all of those cards your follow-up game has to be platinum when you get back to wherever you live. Like literally put together, if you don't have an EPK or your press kit or something like that, it was a pleasure to meet you. So excited about all these new things that Pioneer has going on. I want to tell you a little bit about what I like to do. And in that instance, if you present yourself the right way and you build a relationship that way, following them on Instagram, starting the dialogue and looking for a long game, you may wind up being a sponsored artist. Like seriously. But if you try to get it all done at the expo, I promise you that's not going to work. There's just too much going on, right? So get the data, get the information, come back, put together your plan, and follow up. That's vital.
Thanks.
Hey guys, so sorry I got to bounce. I hope whatever information I gave out and everyone else that gave out information was really helpful. And make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I put it on there at I am DJ Lyrics. If you guys are interested in Bible, just go ahead and send a message with Bible, and then go ahead and other than that, thank you so much, Daryl, for getting the platform today and speak. Rose, Mel B, thank you so much for all the information as well. Much love to you guys. Dion, DJ All, let me know if you have any questions, reach out to me. And you guys, everybody, you guys take care and have yourselves a good one, okay?
Appreciate you,
Salute.
Jay. Thank you.
Salute.
Appreciate you, Jay.
Hey, we got 20 more minutes, so I'm gonna keep this thing going. I would love for anyone that has any, questions, any concerns, like what's on your minds right now. My major question is, what is the most difficult thing in either your personal or your DJ life right now? And what are some ways that we can use community to help solve some of these issues? Does anyone want to get off mic, off mute and talk about anything they're struggling with right now? And let's just talk it through how we can help and support one another.
Yeah, this Capo here. Oh, my bad. I'll go after whoever's going.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'll be quick. One of the things that I'm interested in is ultimately my goal is to do clubs, festivals, and tours. So if anybody can talk about how to get your foot in the door. I did a 30-minute audition tape for our local in Jackson, Michigan, the One Dance Club. And he liked it, but he said, I'll keep you in mind for different events that we do that fit your style.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer that for you. So don't mind the bathroom setting. I gotta clean my house. I'm in domestic mode right now. I'm the realest DJ ever met. So I'm gonna tell you something. So now we in the age of flash drives, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get you a bunch of thumb drives, right? With your thumb drives, you're gonna make mixes. So you do like 2 hours, 4 hour mixes, then you give them to the club owners, you pass them along. Only to the club owners, the club, which so that way they get familiar with your mixes. Then you start doing it, do it for about a month, maybe 2 months, 3 months. Now they're gonna start wanting you. Once they hear it, that's when they want to start booking you to do their events. Now, as far as DJing for artists, just find your local artists. You know what I mean? That's the best way I could tell you, because at the end of the day, right now, DJing for artists is kind of hard because they go with their best friend. They don't go with the DJ that has more skills and knowledge. They go for their best friend. So you just, that right there, you know what I'm saying? But do the flash drive, do the hard drive. I'm telling you right now, that's the best way.
And I want to say something about Rakim said it best. It ain't for where you're from, it's where you at. Because Ross, Mel B Easy could attest to this. If you're from out of state and you try to come to another state to DJ, you got to know your locals. You got to know what your people look for. Not to say that you can't play like New Yorkers, and we have a big chip on our shoulders on anything to do. If we sell rocks to people, we have a big chip on our shoulder when we go somewhere else. As a DJ, I DJ'd in DC for 20 years. And when I say this, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. You can take your style, if you have a certain style, the way you DJ, you could take that somewhere else, but you also got to know what they like to listen to. You can't go to DC and play underground hip hop like Wu-Tang all day, Big Daddy Kane, because hip hop doesn't rule everywhere. In DC, go-go rules. If you don't know go-go music, don't go down there acting like because you from New York and you can play this, that, and the third. you got to also know where you're at when you go.
I know go. I know go.
And where you from? You in Florida?
No, I'm in Michigan, but I know go.
Okay,
yo, Detroit.
Right.
Yo, Mecca, quick thing, Mecca, I'm gonna let you go. I was in Detroit, like I said last week. I had to do a wedding. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know, but I'm who I am. I didn't know Detroit was big on house music like that. So once I got into my rhythm, because I'm LB Easy, you know I do what I do. You know, I rock the shotgun. I was DJing with Carl Hicks. So he looking at me like, we gonna book you back. I said, I know, brother, come LB Easy, this is what I do. But I didn't know that Detroit was heavy with the house music. I'm thinking Detroit, you know, R&B, but nah, the house music is something special. House music, New York classic.
But you gotta keep in mind,
you
techno
went in there with
started
that
in
Motown
Detroit.
feeling, didn't you? Because it's Detroit. You went in there thinking it was Motown.
No, I went in with because I was doing a wedding. So it was me and him doing a wedding. I started off the wedding with my R&B set, but then I started getting busy because I'm LB Easy and I read my crowd, know how I get busy. Now I'm looking at him like, you ain't gonna fuck me up, old guy. I'm gonna show you how I get busy. So, I mean, after I got busy, he said, hey, I want to book you to do November. I said, I got you. This is what we do. I'm LB Easy. I know what I be doing. So I just, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, Joe.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, like Detroit, that's where techno started there, and then you had house in Chicago, and then you got tech house that boomed from between those two. So that would have been a good, if you'd have known that going in, it'd have been, you could have got wild in there for real, because the percolator, even my man's that made the track, like he even said it, they had a 25-year anniversary recently. I want to say it was this year or last year. And he was like, my mom still can't believe that I'm still getting paid off this song I made in the 90s to this day. I'm still touring off this song. I'm still getting paid millions of dollars to show up and off of this song. And I was like, yeah, that's where it is.
Yeah.
That was Green Velvet.
Well, I think when you
Green Velvet, my bad. Went blank.
On something that when you go to a new club or you have a booking, and a lot of times what I do is I'll go there before I have my gig just to see what the people like, see what the other DJs are playing, just to feel it out, you know, and that lets me know, okay, this is what's banging and so on. And that you can do it in different ways. You can do it by looking at a video of what happened in the club, or go to the websites. You know, there's a lot of research you can do as a DJ before you have that gig. It's the same thing like when you do your wedding, that you find out what they want to hear, that you make sure that you have a certain playlist. You don't have to stick to it, but that playlist is going to give you knowledge of exactly what styles they need. And you never know, and you got to be ready. And the cool thing as DJs, doesn't matter what style of music. I had to play one time for basically some hippies from the 60s that were having a revival party. And I had to go back and start picking up. And I knew a lot of this stuff just from hearing it on the radio and stuff, but I just started looking for stuff. And then I started finding it, and they gave me a list of stuff, and I made sure I got all them songs. And I just played, and they were going crazy because I was playing all what they wanted to hear. And it's so important to do that, because anywhere you go, if you play what people want to hear, they're going to bring you back.
I'm gonna tell you one other thing. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Then I'm out. One thing, because I learned this yesterday. I did an impromptu pool party. There's a genre of music called yacht rock. You need to get that in your crates.
It's old school pop. I know exactly what
you
you're talking
need to get the yacht rock.
Yeah.
That's not yacht rock was
that stuff like Chicago and stuff like that.
It's like the Hall and Oates, the Doobie Brothers,
that soft rock.
Yeah, you gotta get that. Yeah, because I did a pool party.
As a veteran, we supposed to already have that. So
I got it.
Okay. And I wanted to piggyback off what Super Jam said. Basically, like if you're going somewhere else and you're playing with another DJ, truthfully speak to that DJ about what's to play when you're in town. Because I mean, we're supposed to be making connections anyway. But you know, of course, some of us have a chip on our shoulder. We don't want to see the next man outdo us. I get it. But speak to that club DJ, speak to that radio DJ. Listen, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I just want to know what's rocking out here, what's not. I mean, I did it in DC. I was actually somewhat blessed But then again, I'm 6'5", 375 pounds. So if I walk up on a person, I might be more intimidating than they be them to say, give me the cold shoulder. But I did ask a lot of DJs what's popping where I was playing. You know, they gave me some insight. And like Super Jam said, go download everything that you can on what they tell you.
I did have a bad experience with that though one time. I went in the club and I was like so-and-so because I just got there and I was like, hey, yeah, man. So asking the DJ, yeah, man, so you know, what's your hot songs that you play? And he ran right over to the manager and was like, yo, he don't know what to play. And I was like, damn, dude. Are you gonna do me like that? I was like, okay. And then I just went in there and then I was like, okay, it's on. And I just tore it up and left him standing.
That's why you use Shazam nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, the guy standing in my DJ booth, DJ said, he's like, yeah, I know you from this and this club. And I'm like, you know, I'm friendly. So yeah, cool. This dude's sitting behind me for 4 hours. And every time I look at him, he got his phone and he's Shazamming.
Every single one.
What?
Yeah.
And pretty soon I wasn't in that club anymore.
Or what I do is
anymore.
What I do is when I get like perfect example, when I go into a town, like this weekend, I'm in Orlando Saturday, and then I'm in Coney Island, I'm in Brooklyn on Sunday. I know what to play when I'm in them areas. When I go to like states that I'm not familiar with, I listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I find out what radio station is sponsoring the concert. I listen to that because when you listen to radio, you never go wrong. And then when I get there, I always get there early enough to see what the opening DJ is playing. And then if I feel like he's going, I just go left. The thing is, as a DJ, you like, I've been doing this for a long time, so I have a lot of music. You're supposed to know if he goes here, there's counter records that will fuck those, excuse my language, that will mess those records up all the time. So you have to have a wide selection of music. And I tell DJs this all the time. Stop having the same records that everybody else have. Do your homework. Listen to old Funk Master Flex mixtape. Listen to old mixtapes. Listen to old stuff to figure out what records you need to counteract. It's like playing chess. If that pawn move this way, you want to move your pawn that way. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know what music to play after that.
Yeah, real
That's
quick.
why
I want to jump in. Blair Bass, you joined. I wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves, and also Capo Don Juan, you had a question. So Blair, you want to introduce yourself? Then we have Capo ask a question.
Hey, what's going on, my guys and gals? DJ Blackheart, Memphis, Tennessee. Sorry I'm late. I was with the family tonight, but I appreciate all the gems. Appreciate all the knowledge. You know, it's dope. Just getting different vibes from y'all. So I appreciate you.
Awesome, bro. Thank you for being here. Capo, you had a question, so I just wanted to give you the opportunity to go jump in and ask that question before we close out here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, your boys took that joint and they dropping a lot of gems, man. I'm like, God damn, man. So I'm only 3 years in the game and I'm trying to catch up, but this is my number one struggle that I have because, you know, the main platform that I use is Serato. And my main issue is that I have is the organization of my music. You know what I'm saying? So I tried. I've basically cleared out my library like 2-3 times and then started it all over. And I really don't have a formula of how to organize my music. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have a mentor. So everything that I'm doing is just like on the fly. You know, if I see something on YouTube, I just like, oh, that might be useful. Let me watch this real quick, and then I try and do that. But I need someone to actually like break it down to me for the music.
let me chime in. I would say make your crates like your old school hip hop, your top 40 or what, depending on what style of music you play. Make those crates and don't throw anything away because you can have thousands and thousands of records in there. Keep that stuff, and then while you're playing, ideas are going to pop in your head. That's what you got that search button for, that little search thing. And you just start writing in, or you just think of an artist and you're like, oh, I need something from Usher, bam. And you write in Usher and it pops up right there. All the Usher songs that you got in there. So don't throw away nothing. I got like too many songs. I got stuff that I'll never play, but it's there. If anybody ever comes and say, hey, you got this and this, there it is. you know? And if for a second, I don't know exactly what I feel like playing or what I think they need, sometimes just by putting that search on, you can even go into searching and just write in the BPM or write in, let's say you're playing instrumentals and you want to blend some acapellas on top. And then you just write in acapella or write in pella and boop, everything's right there. And you just go through till you get your BPM that you're at. And you're like, oh, there it is. Oh yeah, let me grab this one. And you get some of the dopest ideas because they're just spontaneous.
Right. What's the site you generally get like most of your acapellas from? You know, what do you really use?
I make a lot of acapellas. I know how to do it now. There's a program. Let me see what this is called. It's called
Not the secrets. Don't give away the secrets.
I mean, all those secrets are
in here we give away the
He's
secrets.
a Thundercat. He's a Thundercat. He got 3 years in. Don't give away the secrets. No, I'm just playing. I understand.
Okay, don't do me like that, man.
Okay.
I'm out in Florida, man. I'm trying to.
Because I got this from a DJ that's been DJing for about 3 years.
Okay.
And so I have to pass it on the same way. This is true. That's true. Because he told me about it because he knows I messed around with him for a while and everything. And it's a program. You can use it for free, but you can't do all the downloading of it and everything. But you can actually, as DJs, we always have to work around things. We always have to figure out how to do stuff with nothing. So you just take it out of your computer, bring it back into your sound card, and you can record it in real time. It doesn't just do the acapella, but it does also the instrumental. And you can just take away. I use it for remixing. You can take away just the drums and have only the melodies and only the vocals in there, and then you can build a whole new beat on top of that and stuff. So
it breaks it down to stems. It breaks down the stems.
Yeah. Basically.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So and that's it. The app is called Neutral Mix Pro.
Oh, that's a different one.
Oh, Audionamics does the same thing. I got like 2 other websites that do it for free.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I'm just sure that there's website. There's also a website you can go to, but you can only do it. It'll say like when you push on record or whatever, it'll say the artist is re-recording the song. It's just a way for him to stay out of problems. But you get 2 a day, just 2 a day that you can do. And I have also, if y'all like acapellas, I do a lot of acapellas, a lot of old school acapellas of stuff that I think of that I could never find. I don't know, just all sorts of really dope old school stuff.
I need
Chaka
some
Khan
stuff
and this and that. Let me write it in the chat.
Right. I need that stuff because I got house remixes I'll be trying to do, and then some, I need all of that.
So all you got to do on my YouTube channel,
all the good stuff.
On my YouTube channel, just search for ISOPella, ISO-PELLA, and and I put them in there like every week. I put a couple of things in there, and then what I'll do is I'll take brand new songs as soon as they come out, like that new Bruno Mars that just came out. I took that and I turned that into an acapella. I posted that, and then I did a remix of it because the song's called Skate. So I took Bounce Rock Skate and I mixed them together, and I put that then on my DJ Super Jam YouTube.
When you're dropping it,
I might need to remix that.
I ain't dropping it, but it's on YouTube. It's already dropped.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I can't get the rights to do it, but I did. What the thing is when you take and do a remix, just a single remix, if you're on YouTube and you do like a mix, a lot of time it gets flagged. They won't even play it. They'll be, it'll just stop. But if you do a single remix, I think they send it to the record company or they send it to the artist. If it's not garbage, the artist will be like, yeah, okay, but we get the money. So all you lose is the monetization, which I'm not trying to get paid off somebody else's stuff. I'm trying to build my name.
Get the credit.
So that's a nice way to put your stuff out. And like, for instance, like on the Bruno Mars, the last one that he did with Anderson .Paak, it's got over 20,000 plays right now. The remix that I did, so.
Yeah.
Yo, I-95, you got a question?
All right, I'm going to piggyback off of what he said. With that copywriting stuff, I turned around and posted the remix to Don't Waste My Time by Usher. I turned around and tagged the original in there and everything else. It's still on SoundCloud to this day.
SoundCloud scary. I got a SoundCloud shut down. that had 200,000 plays on it. 2 years of work, and from one day to the next, it shut. It said copyright infringement on one. Then it went back 2 years, and it pulled two other ones, and it said 3. And I turned it on in the morning. It was gone. Now, okay,
You always
this was
you
was
always
5 years
tag the
ago.
artist. You always tag the artist, and you also put the actual album or the song in with it, so people can actually download the actual song
Okay.
and your remix.
All
I've
right.
done it. I
I
have
will
that
try
song.
that.
I have that song in my bed by, I forgot the young man's name, and both those songs are still up there. And this was
Okay.
like last year.
All right, then they might have changed some because this must have happened 5 years ago to me, and that's why I put some instrumentals on there, you know, but I stay away from throwing acapellas on top of there and stuff because it hurt when they took all that music away. I was like, damn.
Another good thing is when you see, like, let's say you look at a DJ at a festival, and then you look at their tour where they're touring, and you look at the other one, you end up finding out they're all following each other at the same venues on different days. So that's another way of seeing that club, what people like to hear, is by seeing.
And then on top,
that's right.
And on top of that, like you could just follow like the DJs. Like you got to look at the flyers from these bigger clubs, especially like Believe in Atlanta, and look at the flyers and see who else is on there. Because those people, usually whoever's closer to the top, they're either a resident DJ at that spot or they're resident somewhere else in the city. So at least then you'll know. Okay, let me go check out this person's page because they're gonna have videos of them DJing. You can spot what songs they're playing from there. And then on top of that, you can also see what producers or DJs or artists, whatever, follow them. Because whoever of y'all follow anybody in common, that's a good way to know. There's a lot of different ways, and then almost all of these clubs as well have been doing like mix series, especially since the shutdown. So like one of the clubs here in Raleigh, Alchemy, what they'll do is they'll have, since they've been closed down and they weren't able to open up to the public, they would have a DJ come in on a random day during the week, and they'll film and also record audio for that mix, and they'll post it on their SoundCloud, and they'll have all the other DJs that are resident or regulars at that club and other clubs around reposting it. So that's a great way you can see in who is playing where, because 10 times out of 10, if they're a resident there, you're going to know exactly what they're playing by whatever mix they have up for that club or whatever music they have online on their actual profiles.
Hey man, this has been a really great conversation. We're getting to the hour. I like to be super respectful of everyone's time. We start on time, we do end on time, but this is great. I would love for you guys to always connect with other DJs. Drop your Instagram, whatever your communication tools. Drop it in here and connect. Build relationships. That's what this is for, because you could take these relationships much further than this call. I would like to say this happens every. Sorry, this is echo. This happens every first Sunday of the month, and I would love for you guys to come back next month and also invite a DJ that can benefit from this conversation. I think that if this group, this monthly call grows and we're able to, get more DJs in here, it's going to really make a great community where people are going to be helping one another and building their networks. So it's always the same register link, theclubmeetup.eventbrite.com. And then the Zoom link is always the same, theclubmeetup.com. So come every first Sunday of the month, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to have you back and just continue the conversations.
Hey,
this has been great. Yeah, what's that?
I was going to ask Ross, what's his IG handle?
It's I am ROS, so I am Ross. I'll put it in the chat again. I had it in there earlier.
I missed it. I am.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Always copy the chat. That's a way to get all them links and everything. Just copy the chat and paste it.
There you go.
Got it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Thank you. Good night, y'all.
Salute.